Okay, friends, bell ringer time. Thank you to those of you who let me know that I was doing these out of order in my video yesterday. So now we're kind of zigzagging around this week. Sorry, I hope that's not too confusing for you guys. So this is bell ringer 12. Now luckily with Google Slides, I will endeavor to go in order, but for this week we are zigzagging around and it's kind of just an adventure. All right, I hope you guys are having a great morning and I will see you in class. You can edit them in whatever order you choose, and then just keep returning back to the slides. And every time you click out of those slides, Google is going to save your work. You do not need to click submit on those slides until the end of the week when you're done with all of them. Okay, so here we go. We're going to figure out how many ounces are in 10 pounds. Remember when you see LBS, that stands for pounds, and OZ, that stands for ounces. Now this one is kind of easy because we're multiplying by 10, and we've been talking a lot this week about multiplying by tens. We're going to multiply 10 pounds times 16 ounces in each pound. Remember we said, or yesterday I taught you that handy little rhyme, which is horse to fly, multiply. And here we are going, well, I was going to draw a picture of a horse, but oh my gosh, that's not a very good sign. That's not a very good start. Let's try. Look. Nay! That looks like a horse, doesn't it? Basically. Okay, so horse to fly. This is a fly, obviously. Don't tell me that doesn't look like a fly. Horse to fly, multiply. So pounds to ounces, we're going from a bigger unit of measurement, pounds, to a smaller unit of measurement, ounces. So that's why we're going to multiply. When we multiply by 10, this is saying 10 groups of 16. I can multiply my non-zero digits first. 1 times 16 is 16, and then I have 1 0, so I'm going to add a 0. That's what 10 groups of 16 looks like. 160 ounces. I just can't believe what an awesome job I did on my horse. That's really spectacular. Okay, now 80 ounces is equivalent to how many pounds? Now here we're going fly to horse, divide, of course. Fly, that is a smaller unit of measurement. That looks exactly like a fly. Fly to horse. Wow, even better than the first one. This one really has character. Here's his mane. Okay, fly to horse, divide, of course. Because we're going from a smaller unit of measurement, like a fly, ounces, to a bigger unit of measurement, pounds. 80 ounces divided by 16 ounces in each pound. Okay, so now if you're trying to figure out how are we going to divide that, let's start with what we did before, which was 16 times 10 gave us 160. So that tells me that 16 times 5 is going to be half of 160, which is, of course, 80. Look at that. See, if you're starting to train your brain to notice these patterns, then before you know it, they'll be everywhere in math. You won't be able to solve a math problem without seeing a pattern. Okay, so that's 80 ounces divided by, I've done something wrong, 80 ounces. Okay, did you guys notice what my mistake was? Ha ha. This needs to be 5. So this is like saying 5 pounds times 16 ounces in each pound would give you your 80 ounces, which is here. So it's kind of a quick case of ask yourself what each number represents. I didn't do that correctly. Okay, so 80 ounces is pounds. Daily fact family, factor times factor equals our product. Okay. And let's see. Do we remember our vocabulary words? What is this big number that we're going to divide up? It's our dividend divided by our divisor equals our quotient. Okay, and I'll let you fill the rest of those out because I'm sure you can do it now. All right, line plot time. Complete a line plot using the following data. Smallest value, looks like a 3. Okay, now like I said, I always like my line plots to have really nice even numbers at the beginning and the end, so I'm going to go from 0 to 10 because I see I don't have a value bigger than 10 on here. 5 is my midpoint, of course. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so I've got 1, 3, 1, 5, 1, 7, another 5, a 3, a 7, a 9, another 3, another 7, and another 5. Oh, look at that. All right. Name and tell. Name, of course, that means identify. And tell, we know that means describe. Okay, so let's see, how many sides does this shape have? 1 side, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do we call a shape with 5 straight sides? We call it a pentagon. And I see, let's see, what do we call these kinds of angles? 90-degree angles. We have 3 right angles. You guys pay attention because next week I'm not helping you with these. I'm going to let you do them on your own. And then look at these angles. What do we call these? Are they acute or are they obtuse? They are bigger than 90 degrees, so they are obtuse angles, and there's 2 of them. Do we have any parallel sides? Remember, parallel means like railroad tracks. They just travel along the same exact distance from each other. They never move towards each other, and they never move away from each other. So I see one set of parallel sides that I just marked in red, and then I see another set of parallel sides that I'm marking in blue. So this shape has 2 sets or 2 pairs of parallel sides. Parallel sides. Okay, now last word I want to teach you is whenever you have a 90-degree angle, the sides that are creating that angle are called perpendicular. So I've got 1 set of perpendicular sides, 2 sets of perpendicular sides, and 3 sets of perpendicular sides. 3 sets of perpendicular sides, meaning sides that intersect to form a right angle, like so. All right, I think that's it. Did we go through all our slides? Hopefully all right, volume, 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 volume. Okay, now, I don't know, hopefully you guys are starting to kind of get into the habit of seeing these in chunks of smaller shapes. Like I would say this is a group of 2 here. And then I would say behind the 2 that I just shaded red, there's another group of 2. And then continuing along 3, 4. Gosh, my handwriting is messy today. I'm sorry. And then stacked on top, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 2 plus 4 plus 4, what does that give us? A total of 10 cubic units. Now, when we're calculating volume, we always count in cubic units, and cubic refers to the 3 dimensions that make up the figure. The 3 dimensions are length, width, and height. So that's why it's cubic, or 3 dimensions. You can have cubic centimeters, cubic feet, cubic yards. I suppose you could even have like cubic miles if you were talking about something really huge.